Always some bull, ain't it? What's up, y'all? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I gotta start this out by shouting out the Detroit Lions fans. Congratulations to y'all on the most successful season of my lifetime. Man, I just want to check on y'all to make sure y'all good. Y'all should be celebrating. I understand. I'm no longer a Lions fan. I gave up on them like 9 I gave up on the Lions like 9 years ago. So it's over for me. It's been over for me. But that don't mean I can't acknowledge they had a hell of a season. Um, no, we got this thing where they love to paint the Lions as losers. And they got NFL championships. That's before they named it the Super Bowl. So that's the slick stuff they be trying to pull. Y'all don't got to feel bad about nothing. I just gave up on being a Lions fan because why would you put yourself through that kind of agony? Like, clearly the league don't mess with this team. Why am I going to do this for my whole life? I gave them 27 years and it was over for me. That's it. But I digress. It's not about me. It's about the Lions fans. The ones that pat their chest about sticking with them. Yeah, I was one game away from the Super Bowl, which I couldn't believe it. The whole time I couldn't believe it. And I felt a little vindicated because I heard about the halftime score and I was like, nah, there's a whole nother half to go. That's not going to last. I've seen this story before. So that's going to have to be a cut. All right, back to it. Man, that was just wild. I know we got our Pistons going through probably the worst stretch of basketball I've seen from them, and I don't know how long. It's been bad for a little while. It just seemed like it just get worse. Like all these young, promising prospects, and it's just going nowhere. Like, I don't know, man. This is why I gave up on being a fan, because it's really like a ridiculous concept to me. Just to stick with these teams no matter what. We already know it's fixed. And for all of the people watching this Taylor Swift madness, if you never believed it before, this should be your confirmation. Look at all the money her appearances are making that team in this league. And she just won some Grammys, or at least one album of the year. I don't know how many she won, but I know that was like a big deal. I don't know why people still into that either. And then I saw the boy Killer Mike cleaned up and won 3. And then on the other end of it, then they cuffed him and took him out. And supposedly it was for a misdemeanor. So whatever that's about is crazy. They love humiliating us. The Grammys is no grander stage. So I see people talking about humiliation rituals. Hey, I wouldn't be surprised. They love to do us like that. So I still want to say congratulations to Killer Mike. That's another big surprise to me because the Grammys seem to get it wrong most of the time. Like, the people know the best albums. We know what should be awarded, but to see them actually get it right this time was surprising on that front as far as rap albums. Yeah, I really wasn't expecting him to win. But when I look at the competition, it's like, okay, whatever. You know, I really didn't see them giving it to Travis Scott, or who else was nominated? I think Drake was nominated. I don't know. That ain't important. Shout out to Killer Mike. Whatever you're going through, man, I hope you be strong, get through it. Your family there for you. You got the people behind you. You know a lot of people support you. And you did it loud and proud. And I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people that don't appreciate that. So you got to understand, you put the target on your back when you, a big, loud black man in America, they got to shut that down. But then they awarded you at the same time. That's crazy. That's crazy. Excuse the noise. I got a loud child in the house. I don't know if y'all caught that, but we're gonna have a talk about this volume. Um, I was going through the news cycle and came across this story about Dr. Yang. Don't want to mispronounce his name, but this Australian writer who China basically detained, and man, they've been putting him through it, and then he's been basically sentenced to death. And that story is like, it shouldn't be blowing my mind, but it is. It's like he was kept from his family, limited access to his lawyers and all that kind of stuff. Interrogated over 300 times, several times a day, sometimes for 4 and 5 hours at a time, which is crazy. Asking him all kind of questions, and it's like an outcry about that situation because he's been treated so unfairly and so heavy-handed, to be sentenced to death. And then they've been real sketchy about the details, real limited about what they let out to the public. And basically what it all boils down to is the man is being sentenced to death for being a critic, which that's one of the things that I've had in my mind to like look around outside of the country. I've been thinking about moving, not just within the country, but outside. I just think about, this is one of the situations that actually makes me glad that I was born on U.S. soil, American soil, because as bad as we have it here sometimes, when you look at other countries, the way that they handle the people, the dictatorships, the way they run certain things, the things that you can be put to death for, I think we would all be dead in other countries. I'm a bit of a disruptor. Like, that's kind of just my personality. It's like when I see an injustice, I'm gonna open up my big mouth about it. And as much as they don't like it here in America, I still have the so-called freedom to speak my mind and say whatever it is that I'm thinking. And I'd be put to death for it, just because I decided to criticize my country. I mean, I think we all have the right to do that when we have people put in place that are supposed to have our best interest at heart, and they show us time and time again that they don't. But that's a God-given right. So for this man to be, actually, he's been going through this case for a couple of years, and I can't even imagine being a family member of his, wondering about his fate, not being able to contact him, not knowing what's going on, having the government keep the details quiet and giving me no access to my family member. And all he's doing is reporting what's going on. I don't know why that like struck me the way it did, but it was just, I don't know. I was just trying to wrap my mind around like putting myself in his place. Like, what could he be thinking right now? That's a family that's going to have to be real strong, because what kind of power do they have? That's that absolute power, man. And it corrupts absolutely. I always have an issue with leadership that bullies. Like, I hate bullies. That's one of the things that are really setting me off, man. Like, before we start digging into the psyche, it might have something to do with the fact that I was bullied. But at a certain point in life, I just realized that there's nobody to be scared of. It kind of turned my whole life around once I made that decision. But yeah, and still there's some situations that, I don't know. You don't see certain things coming. I'm pretty sure he didn't see that coming. Maybe he did. I mean, this is China. It's a different kind of situation over there. So as much as we complain about freedom or lack thereof here in America, it's a lot better than some other places. And I don't know. My heart is just going out to this dude right now and then randomly it made me think about Eric Snowden. Like just because I wouldn't necessarily call Dr. Yang a whistleblower, but that's like the name we have for Snowden. But that's because he was like he was telling it all about NSA and um, our government spying on us, collecting all kind of data and information, and um, yeah, our government collecting all kind of data and information on us, and he was doing his job of helping everybody to understand that you're not as free as you think, and they're using this technology against us in all kind of different ways. So with that, he ended up being exiled. I mean, it's crazy how telling the truth, I mean, the real truth, not this like salacious stuff happening with celebrities and entertainment, but I mean, like what's going on in real life. Like the truth, telling the truth, expressing the truth can put your life in danger. But this dude, I had to look him up because his name just popped up in my head. I had to look him up. He's been in Russia for over 10 years. I'm like, damn, like his home, his home base, he can't even come back because he's a target. And I mean, it's a long list of people that for whatever they were going through, they decided to tell the truth. And then in some kind of mysterious way, they ended up missing, dead. You know how that goes. All kind of different ways people end up dead. Um, Overdoses and that's the game they play. But it's like, this I find that real suspicious that after they told this story, then all of a sudden they died. So shout out to Eric Snowden for getting away. It's probably better for him to stay in Russia. I see he didn't feel bad about what he did, and I wouldn't either, because like somebody has to have a heart in all of this. Like the people deserve to know. We have a right to know what's going on. And if our government is spying on us, that's some real important news. People get off they're so off put by the idea of a conspiracy, but nah, this stuff is real. Every now and then you find somebody that's brave enough to just say it. Look, I felt compelled to tell y'all because nobody else was going to do it. This is what's going on. But you also have to understand on the other side of that, you put your life at risk. Like telling the truth is a dangerous thing. So I can understand all the people that don't want to be within like earshot of the truth because they don't want to be liable for what they know. That's crazy. And like I said, well, we're under the guise of a democracy. It's not actually a democracy here. You pledge your allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands. Not the democracy, it's a republic. Something else people need to understand. It's not actually a democracy. But reality is, we're still in a better off position than a lot of other countries. Man, I don't want to be fooled into or lulled to sleep. Like, I know it's not as good as maybe it once was because financially, like this country is in the toilet. Like the money means nothing. People want to stand on us being the greatest country, and we haven't been the greatest country for a long time. Speaking of China, we actually owe China. I don't even think we can tally it up as much as we owe them at this point. Like, and you got countries working behind the scenes to band together and work against us. So we actually have a lot of enemies. And I kind of wonder about our time because there's a lot of people not happy with our country. It makes me wonder, Even though I think it can be bad in some other countries, how long should I be staying here? So I got a strange urge to just go, get out of here. Like we haven't even gotten to the start of the worst, because all empires must fall, and ours has been falling. We just don't notice it. But at the current time, all I can say is I appreciate the ability to be able to sit here and speak my mind and not have people run into my back door because of it and snatch me, kidnap me away from my family, and then torture me, interrogate me, and sentence me to death. Like that's beyond ridiculous, man. That's the sign of a tyrant. You can't speak truth to power. I really hate bullies. And that's a big bully move, man. To go against somebody just because they use their voice. Really, a lot of times critics are just challenging you to be better. So, what could have been said that was so bad that this person has to die? I don't understand. But I never understand a lot of these countries and the way they run things, because the more you dig into it, it's never truly about the people. And then the ones that actually have the people that hurt, they end up dead. Man, we gotta do a little bit more research in our history, because some of the people that have been villains were not actually villains. They were just in opposition to the behind the scenes, the way that things run, that we're not privy to. They don't let us in on that stuff. And again, the only way we get to find out a lot of the truth about that stuff is just people being brave enough to step up and tell it. So then you got to worry about the dictator, just offing you. That is really blowing my mind today. But again, I don't know. It put me right now. It just put me in the space of being grateful for what I have and all that I've been able to see in my life. And just the fact that even though it's not completely free, I've still been free enough to do all of the things that I wanted to do. You travel outside of the country and you find that when you step off the resort, it's a completely different story. In some places you go, they tell you don't leave the resort because you in the oasis and outside is the desert and people are desperate. They don't have, and they look at you because you do. So if you slip up and step outside of that safe space, it's on. I mean, that's another situation where your family might not see you again, because how dare you come over here and party in the middle of our poverty? That's a crazy thought. That's why I got a little guilt about traveling to certain places. I just can't do it. If I'm not willing to be a part of the rebuild, like that money is not actually going to any kind of benefit of the country, which is clear because if you actually look outside of that resort, yeah, me and the camera finna have it out. Like, I gave you a chance. I gave you a chance, and this how you want to do me? I don't even know. Where I left off, but I think sometimes things happen where it's like this is a good time to just wrap it up, because even though I understand the freedom to speak, I also understand that there's consequences that come along with that freedom, and you got to be careful about what you're talking about, how you speak, and what you're saying. So I think I got my point across. I think I got my point across today as well enough as I could without, it's always a dance I'm doing when I approach certain topics. So one of these days, I might really go in. But sometimes it's just to give people a little bit of information about what's going on out there. There's a lot happening outside of your world. There's real stuff happening. And I don't know. I guess gratitude is the word today. You should be a little more grateful about where you are in life because it could be so much worse. That's probably what I'm feeling a little bit today. Is man, this could be so much worse. For the stuff that I complain about sometimes, like I really gotta just shake it off. Sometimes just laugh at myself because, like, really, this is what you complaining about? You tripping? You tripping, man? You healthy? All of your family is healthy. You a lot more blessed than most. All of the drama and chaos that people are going through, my stuff is minuscule in comparison. So that's just where my mind is. That's all I got for y'all today, man. I ain't gonna talk you to death. Drop a lion in the comments. Shout out to them boys. Still not a fan, but it's all right. I will support y'all from afar because I still don't believe in them. I love you, and I'm out.